We are going to start a new batch of anthropology optional live classes offline, and it will be even streamed live to the online students. Offline being done at Hyderabad. So the fact that the students from non-biology background, for them anthropology is difficult, ये simply सरासर myth है. And even 2017 IAS topper, first ranker Anudeep Durishetty was also from non-biology background. He is also an engineer. So many engineers are actually qualifying this exam and coming as toppers. ठीक है? So आपको simply समझना होगा कि biology part is only a small part in anthropology. So there are other parts I'll anyhow write on the board, but before going further I should make it clear that besides being cultural and social beings, we are basically humans are biological beings. We are actually animals. We are social animals, but before becoming social and cultural beings, we are basically humans as animals. So we are Homo sapiens. So anthropology starts from there. We study our past with the help of fossils, with the help of anatomy. We compare ourselves with chimpanzees and other apes. Then we go and understand how the culture has evolved, how culture originated and evolved, how humans have evolved over the past millions of years. So it's a wonderful area. In fact, there is also another area called human genetics, which is an applied part. In today's highly changing and dynamic scientific world, where a lot of progress is being made in science and technology, we are using a lot of DNA technology to treat our long-term diseases. So that is the importance of DNA technology as well. So before going further, there are several other questions related to this. What is anthropology basically? What are the topics in anthropology which have got biology involved? Okay, there are biology terms in the various parts of the syllabus, but do they scare you? In fact, people think they scare me, but because of that they are skeptical whether I should go with anthropology or not. In fact, that will also be heard now, that will also be discussed. And the physical or biological anthropology part is highly scoring according to some people. Is it true? And absolutely it is also true. Okay, and is it useful in the GS? 100%. In fact, many parts in the GS are connected with anthropology. Okay, so what is anthropology? It is simply the study of human beings from a 360-degree viewpoint. So anthropos stands for humans, logos stands for study. So study of humans or science of humans is a simple understanding of anthropology. So what are the subjects or the areas of study in anthropology by the scholars? As we have noted, it starts with biology, human biological setup or the setting, then the cultural parameters, then the society, human language, human achievements to some extent, then archaeology is also there. So these are beautiful areas where you try to understand the humanity very well. In fact, anthropology enables us to understand ourselves better. So we look at our roots, we go to our origins and evolution, then we will see how this kinds of knowledge is getting applied in the field, how the knowledge of anthropology is bettering the human beings in every facet of life. So that is anthropology for you. Then what are the topics in anthropology which have biology involved? As I noted, there are several areas. For example, human origins. Okay, so we will discuss, of course, in the next page. So what is anthropology? We have already noted. Let me again write it here. Anthropology is simply the study of humans according to some scholars, they say at all places and all times. That means humans, wherever they live, wherever they inhabit, anthropologists study them in detail. They go in a 360-degree manner. They start with their society, their culture, their language, their family structure, their marriage patterns, their kinship, that is relationship methods and techniques, their terms involved, then their political systems, their economic systems. It's like a kind of a kaleidoscope of human life. So predominantly it starts studying the simple societies. Simple societies in the sense tribal societies, peasant societies and folk societies. Best example is the tribes, the tribal people in India, Africa, Malaysia, etc. Wherever there are simple people, the starting point of anthropologists is the study of these people. Okay, so then what are the topics in anthropology which have biology involved? So many topics are there which give us a strong grounding in our base, that is our human evolution. In fact, human origins, how we have originated, where we have originated, right, and how we have evolved to the current position. Our current position is Homo sapiens, right? We are actually technically called as Homo sapiens sapiens, and earliest forms of humans were called as Australopithecus. So we start from Australopithecus and we have evolved over millions of years to come to the present day position, that is that is Homo sapiens. And we also study human variation, what kind of races we are having, why we are so different, why there are people called as Negroes, whites and yellow skinned people, and human variation, then human genetics, and all this knowledge is used for applied part. There is also this applied physical anthropology. So as far as these topics are concerned, the knowledge of biology comes to our rescue, right? Here again, as we have noted earlier, is that the terms very scary. In fact, I'll also ask another question. इस सवाल का मैं और एक सवाल से जवाब दूंगा. So whenever you have studied a new subject like commerce or engineering or architecture, medicine, पहले आपको ये सब पता था, right? Were you all aware of these terms? You were also skeptical, right, before entering the universities and colleges. Similar is the case with anthropology, especially with biological terms. And many of you will recollect these basic terms like, for example, natural selection, mutation, adaptation, okay, and chromosomes, cells, genes, then alleles. The only knowledge here is mostly you should understand, we should be bothered with the anthropological angle, not the medical or biological angle. Many students actually mistake this for the other one. So our knowledge should be strongly anthropological, not biological or medical. We are not going to do any research or specialization in medical terms. So we will be just using our basic knowledge to the applied part, how anthropology is bettering human life. So to that extent, the biological terms will become very handy. And as you go through the syllabus, slowly but gradually you will understand all of them. Repeatedly, if you are revising them, wonderfully you will come to terms with that. So these do not scare anymore to you once you are actually familiar with them. Once they are initially, you will be like as we have noted, slightly wary of them, but over a period of time you become familiar with. So that familiarity eases your problem. Okay, so we will also help you in how to use which term at which juncture, which area, where to score a maximum using these terms, where should be they used, where they should not be used, and all that. And I heard that physical anthropology or biological anthropology part is highly scoring in the exam. Is it correct? Absolutely correct, and it is 100%. In some cases 100% marks are given. You will be like shocked and surprised. 100% marks are awarded in certain answers in physical anthropology only, because they involve, as we have noted earlier, technical terms with applied context. And if you bring in this versatility and your holistic approach with the current dimension plus beautiful diagrams to the applicable exactly to the question, the theme of the question. If you go away from the theme of the question, even if you write all this, that will not be useful. So when you understand the theme of the question and deliver all this in a beautifully packed what you call word limits, absolutely you will get 100% in some cases. Not in every answer perhaps, but 100% you can get. 90% many students score in individual answers. In individual answers, yes, it is possible. May not be completely in the entire paper. It is impossible, nigh impossible, because of the time limits, the regular mistakes students commit, and also the lacking of the holistic approach in every part of the syllabus. So that is how this part is highly scoring. So usually you will end up at 70 to 80% in the physical part. So if the physical or biological anthropology, if you master, or in the sense at least regularly practice, as we have noted in the earlier videos, other videos, that you have to make your own notes, test run yourself, that is write the tests, read and understand the subject in its own way, and make notes and present them regularly, get them evaluated regularly, you can score 70 to 80% in the overall what you call performance. Okay, so that is one thing about biological part in anthropology. There is other mode question that students raise regularly: is it useful in GS? Just like the other social cultural anthropology part, like Indian anthropology. For example, if you take Indian tribes, there are several constitutional safeguards available to tribal people in India. Government of India calls them as STs. They are not tribes actually. In government language, they are called as STs. In general usage in literature and anthropology, in research, they are called as tribes. So there is a lot of difference between STs and tribes. So many people do not know this. There is a great deal of common socio-economic background these STs share with SCs. So this part, tribal India part, that is there in paper 2, covers a great deal of constitutional safeguards for the STs as well as SCs, and they also include the position, constitutional position and protection for OBCs, and there is a good deal of discussion on the minorities. So most of the background, the constitutional background, you will be knowing in anthropology itself. So that means a great deal of GS preparation is done as far as understanding the socio-economic picture of the country is concerned. Social exclusion is a concept there, Indian society is there, vulnerable sections are there. So for all that, this basic knowledge will be highly useful. I'll just give you an example. Recently there is a crisis going on in Manipur, you know that, right? There is a constitutional background for this. So if you read this current events very regularly, you will understand that there is a constitutional provision involved, that is 6th schedule. Schedule number 6 is there. There is a hills, autonomous hill councils are involved in this. So when it comes to tribal, non-tribal conflicts, tribal versus non-tribal conflicts, we will appreciate first hand what exactly are these tribes, on what basis government of India has classified them, what is the constitutional position, better than any general studies candidate. That is how I can assure you that with the knowledge of anthropology, you will understand GS better, extraordinarily better. I've just given one small example. Now coming to biological anthropology, is it useful for GS? As I told you, just like any other social cultural part, biological anthropology is also beautifully useful in the general studies. As you have noted, we were regularly, students are being posed with questions on DNA technology, the viruses, bacteria, right? All this knowledge you will also have slightly covered in this. So DNA technology will learn a great deal, and we'll talk about chromosomes, genes and alleles. All this will be highly useful for you to better appreciate and understand the science and technology part in the GS, especially with reference to genes, DNA, chromosomes, cells, viruses and bacteria, okay, and many other microorganisms, and how the cell functions, what are other parameters, etc. So these you will know a great deal in the anthropology, biological anthropology, that will be useful for you even in the GS. So that is how I wanted you to understand the importance of biology part in anthropology. That the sum part is, what is the summary? Any student with any background can easily, without any hesitancy, take anthropology as their optional. They will score wonderfully well. They can even become toppers under our guidance. Thank you.